Hey everyone, and welcome back. Right, in today's video, we're going to start using GroovePages so that we can build out some type of funnel for you. So let's start with beginning to set up a very simple landing page or a squeeze page, as some people call it. And what we're going to do today is we're going to play around with GroovePages and we'll set up something like this. So I just knocked this page up. And basically, this could be your landing page or a squeeze page. And it's usually called a squeeze page because there's nothing else to do on the page apart from basically stick your email address in and then subscribe to whatever it is. So in this example, I've just set something up from my GrooveTube Academy. So somebody might land on here because they've seen something that I've sent them from, say, a Facebook ad or a YouTube video or whatever it may be. And it's all about sending free organic traffic from Google and YouTube. And this is a little placeholder of what they're getting. And it's saying here that it's going to be free, which is saving $9.97. And all they need to do is, if they're interested in the product, which they probably have been because they've clicked through, is they would put their email address in, send it now, and then that would be someone that signed up to my email list, and then I could send them the link straight to the offer and they could download it. So let's get cracking. We'll go into your GrooveFunnels account and into GroovePages itself. Now, if you haven't set up a site before, you'll want to go over to New Site to set that up. But I'm just going to go into my GrooveTube Academy account, and we're going to basically build out a funnel from here. So this has just landed on my homepage. I haven't changed this at all. This was in one of my previous videos, which was to do with setting up your custom domain. And if you want to go back and search for that, it is in the GrooveTube Academy YouTube channel. So in today's setup, we're going to go into funnels, which is a new feature within GrooveFunnels now. And basically, you would want to select the plus icon to select a page. I've already got page up here already. And it's just a blank page. And it'll basically say, well, I'll show you what it'll say. If you were to add the page, just start from scratch. So we're just going to start from scratch today. There's loads of templates that you could use. But what I want to do in today's video is just basically set up a page from scratch. It looks a bit empty. It's just to get you used to all the features that are in here. It'll get you up to speed very, very quickly. So what we want to do is we've got our new site set up. We've got our page, and what you want to do is go into blocks first of all. If you go into wireframes, and then we'll just select an empty container once this loads up. And what we're going to do is just drag everything, drop and drag everything in. It'll look a bit sparse, and then eventually we'll start building it out to look something like this. It doesn't really matter if you have what we call a lead magnet or not. It's just to really get used to building out a page, building out a funnel, and then as you follow through these training series, you'll be able to get a grip of what it actually can do for you in your business. So we'll drag in an empty container here. And then we'll go into elements, and then we'll pull in an image into here, and then we'll pull in an H1 header text. In the text H1, and we'll pull in that just below here. Now, what we want to do, so this is basically one block, one container with your image and your heading, which will eventually be image and heading. So as you can see, it looks very basic, but bear with me and just follow me through exactly what we're doing. So we'll now go into layout, and we'll select two columns. So two columns, and we want to drop that in below the heading. So they will eventually become this. This is all one column here. So you've got one column with the form and one column with an image of your lead magnet. We'll pull that in. So we want to pull in an image to the first column, which will be the image that I just showed you. So you just make sure, so you just drag it around, keep it held until you find the column that you want to put it in, which is that one. That transfers over, and then we want to create a form for the other one, which is going to be where our email is. So first of all, we want to select an empty form, and we drop that in. As you can see, it says it's an empty form. And then what we want to do is input fields. So input field, and that goes into our form. And then you want to put an input label. That goes just above the box, and then you want a submit button. And again, that all goes, just put that in below there. So as you can see, we're getting a basic outline of what we've got here. So that would be your input field here, your input label, and then your submit button. So that's all looking good so far. So you want to just to let you know, you want to make sure that's all going in within your actual field itself. So sometimes you just have to play around with it a bit there, but you can see it's all within the that's the one, that's what I wanted. So basically, if you pay attention to what's happening here, as you drag things around, at the bottom of the page here, it will show you exactly where you put it. So as you can see from here, it's saying block container, layout 2 of 2, container, form, container, form, submit. So the main thing is it's within this input field itself. So that's what you want. So let's go on to the next bit. So you want to pull a heading into column 2 container. So let's do this. So a heading, so we'll pull an H2 into column 2 container, and we'll put that there. And that's basically just going to be this heading up here eventually. And then we want to go into blocks, design blocks, and we'll go into footers, and we'll drag one of these footers into the bottom of the page, and it tells you drop your block here. And this will eventually be something like this, just your whatever your name of your company is, and then we'll have some sort of privacy policy, terms of service, affiliate disclosure, if you're doing that sort of thing. And that just means if you ever did some advertisements on Facebook or whatever, they are looking for these types of things, so you'll need to have them loaded up on your page. So next thing, we'll go into elements, and we'll drag in a text link, which is here, and we'll just drag it over to the other side of here. And basically these text links we're going to be able to change so that they resemble something like this. And what I'll do is I'll just I'll delete this one because I don't need this anymore. And we'll keep that there for a moment, and we'll change that in a second. So actually got your text link in, and we can change that in a sec. So just remember to save as you go along, so you don't lose any data. That's quite important. There will be a feature that auto saves that's brought in, but it's not there at the moment. So now we want to select our container, which is, let me just hide this for a little second. So that's the block. So you can always see at the bottom what you've selected. So at the minute, this is a block. So if I just select that again, I've now got container selected. So remember, this is a container within the background block itself. So I've got that now. I've got it in expert mode. And we want to go down to layout, and we want to display vertical. Sorry, not that one, this one. And then we want to select the secondary in the center. So basically all that's doing is change the image into the center of this block. So we go to the container in column 1. So this is the container within the column 2 and 2 layout, and basically just do the same as we did before. So we go into expert mode, which it already is, just to show you the difference between expert. That's just basic functions. If you put it in expert mode, it gives you a lot more. And we want to do the same for the image in that one. So we go to layout. So we just need to select the container and layout, vertical, secondary. And again, that just brings it back into the middle again. And you can see that we're starting to get things in the place that we need them. It's all coming together nicely. So yeah, that's that so far. Let's stick a logo in then, so I'll get some color on the screen. So you click the image, you'll always know that you've clicked something because it comes up as image here. And then you want to go into configure. And then what we want to do now is choose an image. I've already uploaded some images just to keep things moving along. So if you did want to upload, you just hit that button there and it'll upload it for you. So let's select this one. It's just a simple GrooveTube Academy logo, and that one's selected. So we'll select that, and then that'll start uploading and we will update. So now it goes in pretty big, but you can adjust this. So we've still got the image selected. We'll go back to design now, and we'll go down to sizing, and we'll go into width, and you can select it as pixels. And then this is a great little function. Just play about it until you figure out which size you want. So I think I'll have about 300, that'll do. And then we'll go into the heading text. So one below, and you see it changes there. So now text was selected. And just for speed, I'll just copy this out here and we'll put that across there. Just make sure little cursor's in, and we'll get rid of the text that's already in there and then paste. So that's copied across. Don't worry about it looking pretty ugly at the moment. We'll get it looking just as the other page is in a sec. So we do change the heading text, and this could be your hook. So you can see that I'm created a good hook there that some people might be interested in free organic traffic, and how do you get that off of Google and YouTube so it entices them. And also I like this little technique we use here. It's almost like an arrow. So they've seen the sign here and they're forcing their eyes down towards what it is they're getting, and then the next thing just to put in their email address. So we'll do the same for the image over here. So again, this is just running through. You keep repeating the actions and then you'll get used to the actual platform itself. So configure, choose image, and this time we'll go for this one, and that's selected. Select that, update, and then again, if you remember, back to design, and then we'll go to sizing, pixels, and then you can play around with the size again. So let's see, yeah, 300 looks good again. So that's us done the two images, the heading on the form to change. So we want something like this. So again, I'll just copy this over, copy, and paste. There we go, perfect. And let's go and add another bit of color, and we'll change the background. So again, I've only selected the container. If you want to just move up one to the back of the page, you can go into block. So select that, and you'll notice it's a block because there's always a star, and then we can select the color. So if you go into backgrounds, and usually when something's been changed or altered on the screen, you can see a little green icon there. So we'll go background, and we'll just select a color that best matches the one we've got here. That looks about right, cool. So the form fields label, we need to configure this. So that's the form container, the input label text. So that's the label, configure, and we'll stick in email here, and the input label, we will go for whatever we put in the other side, which is your best email, copy, and select the text, and we just go in here, update, your best email. And then we do the same for the input ID, so which will be this one, so that's input, and we want to put email, and for this one we can just leave this one blank. We'll add validation rules, so we don't want this one to be blank and we want someone to input. So if you don't put this in, they could hit the submit button and then get directed to the next page. So we'll say that this can't be empty because we do want to collect these emails as we go along. So we'll update that, and we'll select the submit button, and you can see the button action for this is submit, and we'll change the button text to whatever it says across here. Can't select that, so we'll just type it in manually. So send it now. Update. There you go. So that's changed that. So next we want to change the logo text on the footer. So let's just stick in what we've got over this side. So delete all this. And we will copy over this. copy, paste, there we go. And don't need this one, so delete that. And we'll select this, configure. Instead of saying text link, we'll call this one whatever we said here, privacy policy. So privacy policy. And then eventually we'll link this out to either another page or a URL, and that'll just be a page with all the privacy policy details. But in the meantime, to save time, I'll just update that just now. And we'll change the color of the, so we've still got the link selected, and we've done the configure. So we'll go into text, change the color. I'll select whatever it is, sort of grayish, dark grayish color. There we go. And let's see if that's just changed over, which it has. And I'll do the same for this. Dark grayish color, that one. And then we'll change the background color. So remember to select the block itself, background, and for this we had it as white. So it blends in nicely. There we go, and that stands out a bit nicer now. Privacy policy and that one. So we've changed the background, we've changed the color, and we duplicate the text twice to create the other text links. So if you do this and then click this button here, duplicate and duplicate again, and that means that we've got 3 tabs now. So select one of them, and the next one's going to be terms of service. So again, into configure, and it's the text links that you've got, and we'll put this one as terms of service. Oops. And again, we'll deal with this later with a link to update, and then we'll select the third one, and this one will say affiliate disclosure if you are doing affiliate stuff. So affiliate disclosure update. So as you can see, they're all quite close to each other, so we want to try and space them out a little bit. So I'll show you how to do that. So if we've got that selected, you go back to the design function, and if you hit spacing, what we want to do is create a little bit of space between this box and this box. So if you select the padding, so the padding is this area and the margin is this area. So padding, we need the space on the left, and if you just scroll this a little bit, 0.75 should do it. And you see how that's moving as we move it in and out. Create a little function that, and then we will do the rest with the others. So this one, spacing, and 0.75 to keep it the same. And then in fact, you don't need to do it with the last one. So as you can see, there we go. There's our 3 text links, just like the one over the page. Set up, so that's good. So what do we want to do next? Change the other text design. Yeah, so we could fiddle about the design of the other text on the page to get used to all the different functions in that. So let's select the text up here, which is our H1 tag, and we want that in white, and possibly select a different font. So on this one, let's go for Nanito, and we want to change the color to white, and we also want to select it as center, which it should already be, yeah. And we shall put a bit of weight on, so we'll make it bold, which it probably is already as in each one, but it's just getting used to all the different features within there. So next we want to basically change it so it's kind of all in the center here, sort of arrowing down if you like. So what we can do is click on the text, which we've got already. So what we'll do is we'll just, there we go. So we can just drag this in, and then the text will start changing down. Yeah, that's what we wanted. There we go. So that's kind of created that effect that we're looking at before. So you can do that on these little drawn in arrows here, and this is also just to move it left and right if you wanted to do that. And as you can see in the spacing, so see if I'm moving across there, you can see that the margin is changing. So this is just another addition, a feature that's been added recently. to make things a little bit quicker. So we'll do the same for the other text. So again, you could just click on here, and this one's going to be just 2 lines, and we'll drag this in. There we go, and we'll select white, and we'll select center, and again we can have it so that it's dragged over ever so slightly, just like that. And then input field, and what color was that then? That was still dark, and it was dragged down a little bit. So that's looking okay at the moment. So as you can see, we started with quite a blank page, but it's already starting to take shape just for tinkering about, and I'll give you a really good feel of all the features within GrooveFunnels and GroovePages itself. So we could also show you how to round the borders as well. So if we go up one, and so this is the input field just selected now, and we can show you how to do the borders. So you select borders, and then this is, rather than making it really straight with really sharp corners, we can round them off slightly. So you see how it makes it a box like this, and in our other one it's just slightly rounded. So let's just take it back to about 0.5, and you can see what it's done there. Nice one. Quite like the rounded corners. You can even do it with images as well if you like. Let's do that. A bit of a rounded edge. And if you just click off it, you'll see that it's made it rounded. And we'll do it the same for the logo. Not delay border. 0.5. There you go. It's totally up to you. Just rounding it off. I think it looks quite nice. And we'll go on to the submit button now. See, that's looking quite different to the one we've got in there. So we'll change that over. So we'll select the text, and we want that as white, I think. Yeah, it's still white. We can have the background color. Let's make that similar to what we had on the other page, which is slightly darker pink, but it doesn't matter. And into sizing, go for width, and we'll make it relative to the parent. And then slide that along a bit. So let's see how that looks. So trying to get the same size as the box. So you can see it sort of fills out that whole thing. We'll create the spacing up and, at the top and the bottom. So we've still got it selected. We'll add the spacing to the margin this time. And if you see that moving down, there we go. So that's separating it out. We've changed the color, changed the border, round it off again. There you go. And the text, if you wanted to change the text, that's page default. We could put that to the rest of what the rest of the page is, the NATO. And then we could add a little shadow just so it sort of pops out a little bit. So shading, and let's go for MD. You can just play around with these, see what you fancy. But you can see it without it, which is just plain. And then when you add the shadow in, you can see it just pops out a little bit. I quite like that. So now we click the form container. So again, you just click the button and you can see what you've selected, form container. And we'll do a border around this one this time. So you hit border, and then we want to do the one that's all the way around. And then we'll go for PX2. And let's go for, I think, like a dash line, just so it stands out a bit more, really. And let's try that one. Yeah, that looks fine. And we'll click the container for the form field and use spacing to make it a bit smaller. So let's see. Yeah, so it's quite large in this at the moment. So let's make this a little bit smaller. So get the container this time, which is that whole section, and we'll use the spacing on the left and the right, and just drag it in a little bit. Excellent. We could probably do with just be moved across. There we go. Yeah, getting there. So that's that being dragged over. And then just final few changes really. So we just need to play around to make sure we've got a little bit of spacing above this one. So back to spacing, and you can use margin on this one, and that'll move that down. Yeah, that looks all right. And then we could add a little bit of padding at the bottom. That should give that space to bring the header down, which is like that. Now this looks as though it's all a bit further down to create this sort of effect where we're going to from the sort of pinky colour into the white. So we can drag this down. So again, you can use these little toggles, and that's basically creating your spacing. So this is, you can see, changing the margin as you bring it up and down, like that. And then if you select out with that, you can see that it brings it up and down as well. And again, with the form container, you can move this down if you like, up and down, see that all moving. Excellent. So to get the actual look of it moving down, we'll probably have to select, let's hide this, select the block, and then if we select this one, okay guys, and we've got it now. So basically what you want to do is select your footer, and as you can see, you can just move this up and down, and then if you select the layout 2x2, and again you can just move this up and down, so you've got it something similar to what we can see over here. So it's not quite there yet, is it? So let's just see if we can reduce the margin in the top here, which is what we've done, and see if we can bring this down ever so slightly. Yeah, so we're just about there, I think. Let's do that. So if we now just save that, and if we go to, in fact, let me just change the name of this page. So you see I've just named it page 2 here just now. So into here, page 2, it's called squeeze page, and then the URL itself, if you want to change that, you just change that here, which is page 2. So I'll just do squeeze page, and then this will become clear in a sec when I load it up. It's done, saving, and publish. So if we head over to GrooveTubeAcademy.com and /squeeze page. There we go. So it's not quite the same as what I created before, but as you can see, you can tinker around with it and basically play around with it until you've got everything lined up the way you want it. But it was just basically to give you an overall view of what you can do with the software, and that would just be to create a simple landing page. I mean, this could be a video here. with something, with information you want to tell about possibly your lead magnet, and then you could have a box underneath or a button that comes up for people to put their details in. But I hope that was helpful, and this is all going to be part of a series that's going to help you build out a funnel for whatever it is, product or service that you have, or possibly you're an affiliate of a product or service, and I'll show you how to build it out from your landing page to what we call like a bridge page or a thank you page, and then the process on behind that, where you can build up your email list, and then you can start sending out emails, basically talking about the product or service you have, and give the chance for your lead to get to know, like, and trust you a bit more, and then eventually, hopefully, lead them down the funnel to where you want a purchase to be made, or perhaps you've already given them something for free and now you want to basically give them some sort of upsell or more value added on top of what you've already given them. So I hope that was helpful to you, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. And if you've got any comments, leave them below. I always appreciate your feedback. And if there's any videos you'd like to be covered, please let me know in the comments and give us a like. And that'll make sure that I know that this content is going down well. So thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video.